true where there's a justificatory path. Now, I said to you, could we know if there was a personal absolute creator God constructed the world in such a way that humans at a foundational level can know because of his ordination that the external physical world is real? Could such a God do that?
No, he couldn't. Well, he could, but there wouldn't be any evidence to point to such.
I'm not hearing you.
There's a difference between there being truth and being actual knowledge.
That's not an answer to my
us having access to it. Right?
That's not an answer to my question.
Ontology. You understand?
Listen, you're talking past me. Could a God that I just described do that? Could a God do that?
Can you make an argument without begging the question?
Okay, sir, I'm asking you a question.
No, he can't.
Could a creator God create such a world?
I'm being deadly serious. Can you make an argument without begging the
question? Okay, sir, what you're doing is you're completely evading my question. Do you rule out categorically that there is a God?
He doesn't have to.
Okay. Could a God create such a world that we can foundationally know because of his ordination and providence that the external physical world is real? Could he create such a world?
I guess so. If this all
you can always doubt it, though, right?
Okay. No. The issue. Who said anything about being all powerful? Now, so in a scenario, a creator God, according to you, could make us foundationally to know, because it would be a belief we held as true, where there's a justificatory path due to his sovereignty, okay, and his creation, that we could know it. Now, you said we cannot know that the external physical world exists. Now, if that statement is true, it would categorically and completely rule out that a creator God who created such a world exists. Do you have a defeater that such a world exists?
You don't need to accept that such a world exists. You just need to presuppose that such a world exists for your argument to have any weight.
This is the problem. This is the problem. You're not understanding what I'm saying to you.
Such a world may not exist.
You don't care.
God. So without a God, there's no such world.
Listen to me.
You don't understand that you're begging the question.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. You are either understanding what I'm saying. I didn't make any assertions, sir. I'm simply evaluating your statement. Now, you said a creator God could create a world where we could know things. And you said categorically, we cannot know. Absolutely, you cannot know that the external physical world exists. That statement categorically rules out a creator God doing that. Do you understand that?
Yes, because it presupposes that.
Sir, does your statement rule out such a God?
Why you're not getting this? It's so simple.
Does your statement rule out such a God?
Question? Do you have any arguments that don't?
I'm only asking you questions. Does your statement rule out such a God?
No, but it doesn't presuppose.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You said we cannot know. If you cannot know, that there means there does not exist a creator God who's constructed a world that we can know the external world exists. Your statement categorically rules that out.
No, it doesn't. Why would it rule it out, right? It's just not ruling it necessarily in, right? It's just saying that you could potentially doubt.
So, do you have a defeater for such a God?
You're just asserting that world exists, you know.
That's a question. That I didn't assert that it exists. Now, here's the question. Do you have a defeater that there is no creator God who has created a world so that we could know the external world exists? Do you have a defeater for that?
Why does he have to provide that? Does anybody know why he has to provide that?
Exactly. That's just shifting the burden of proof.
Do you know, sir? I haven't made any claims about my worldview. Now, what you are doing is either you two. Well, because they keep on over talking me. That's why I'm shouting.
That's what you're doing to other people, though. So.
Now, London, your statement that we cannot know that in any shape or sense that the external physical world rules out that there's a creator God who has created such a world. Do you have a defeater that there cannot be a creator God who has done that?
Can we know that there was a creator God that done that?
I'm asking you, do you have a defeater for such a scenario?
That's the defeater. Can we know that a creator
God done that? No, that's not a defeater.
It is. Why? You might not understand.
Wow, you have very poor critical thinking skills. Here's the question. Do you have a defeater that there is for that no creator God, okay? Or let me rephrase this. Do you have a defeater that it is not the case that a creator God constructed such a world? Do you have a defeater for that?
As I've said, you would have to...
Can you rule that out? All right, let me rephrase the question for your little brain to understand. Can you rule out such a God?
Do you understand the difference between epistemology and ontology? Do you understand?
Can you rule that? You see, notice everyone in the room, the total evasion of the question. Can you rule out such a God?
You've been evading every question he's asked.
Can you rule out such a God? Okay. Can you rule out that such a God exists?
I can't rule out that such a God exists.
Good. Then you can't say necessarily then that we cannot, that it is impossible to know. Because if you did make that statement, you would have to rule out such a God. Do you understand your problem?
London started by saying that...
No, you don't understand.
Know for certain, right? He couldn't know for certain that the external world existed. Then Darth came in and he took what he said to say that he doubted that he couldn't know that the external world existed at all, right? So what justifies Darth making that claim, right? He's just strawmanning.
What claim did I assert?
You asserted that he. So you think that London has said that he can't know anything. He can't know the external world exists.
He said, he categorically said,
certain,
we can. No, sir. This is a canard that you're raising. That is not what he said. You either have a faulty memory.
Either
have a faulty memory.
I said
no,
you
didn't
know for certain that the
there you go.
World exists.
Okay, well good. Since you're backpedaling, and this schmuck here is white knighting for you, I'll ask you the question.
It's not backpedaling.
I will ask you a question.
You were just
wrong. Know? Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. No, I'm not lying. You're lying because I've got you in a corner. Now, I'll ask you a question.
Everybody in a corner. You're insane.
My question excludes the issue of psychological confidence. So I'm going to ask you.
What he means by that is that it's always possible to doubt the existence of the external world.
Is there any scenario by which we can know that the external physical world exists?
No.
Okay, so that means that there cannot be
knowledge. There's no situation in which we can justify.
Sir, that's redundant. Listen to me. No, you're not understanding it. That's a redundancy.
And epistemology.
This is why our conversations go nowhere. This is why our conversations go nowhere, because you're argumentative. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Does knowledge include the concept of justification or a justificatory path?
Epistemological concepts of knowledge are two different things. You understand that?
Does knowledge include justification?
Right?
Does knowledge include justification?
Epistemologically, yes.
All right, is that the way? Are you using the word that way? That knowledge is a justified true belief?
Knowledge is a belief that cannot be wrong. That is certainly true.
Okay, so which means there would be a justificatory path.
Yes, you would have justification for
right. So when you say, listen to me carefully. Listen, dude. Do you know why? Do you know why our conversations and every single one of them
is different to ontological?
Listen to me. Do you know why our conversations go nowhere? Do you know why our conversations go nowhere? It's because I actually try to converse with you, even though I'm your opponent. Okay. But you talk past me, and you're simply just argumentative. You ignore almost all of my questions. This is why we're at loggerheads. Now, a justified knowledge is a redundancy because knowledge already contains the idea of justification. Now, so you said we cannot know that the external physical world exists. Now, can a creator God create a world by which we can know the external world is actual?
It could be, yes. I agree that ontologically that could be the case, but epistemologically, we
okay,
can never
can you
justify
rule?
it.
Can you that? Well, I'm not talking about epistemology, sir. I'm talking about ontology. Now,
He's talking about epistemology.
Okay, listen. Why do you have to be such an argumentative jerk? Okay, just
as you are.
intelligent to my question. Now, can you rule out? Real simple. Here's the coup de grace. Can you categorically rule out? Can you categorically rule out? Can you categorically rule out that such a God exists?
That's not the claim he's making.
Okay,
it's just ridiculous.
Can you categorically rule out such a God exists? Because if you can't, then you can't make the statement we cannot know.
If he did that, he'd be making a knowledge claim about the external world, which is what he's denying he can do.
I like your answer why these idiots are white knighting for you. Do you have an answer?
I thought this was an open conversation where we could all join in.
Let's see if you can answer that last question. Let's see if you even remember my question.
Yes, such a God could exist, which could entail us with certain knowledge.
Okay, that's not the question. That wasn't the question.
We wouldn't be able to epistemologically
That wasn't the question. That's not the question. Okay, the question is, I didn't ask you, could you justify it? Okay, you're not listening. You're just being argumentative of every second. Every time I talk, you overtalk me. No, you didn't answer the question. Can you rule out such? Here's the question. Can you rule out such a God?
He's not even claiming that.
Good. Then you can't make the statement, we cannot know. I'm done. You're a fool.
Guys, this is going in circles. I would really like to listen to Fox and London talk. If Mr. Crushin wants to keep screaming, maybe you guys would like to jump down or something and just have your conversation. Oh well, I guess that works too.
What a shame. But you see, the problem is, I mean,
I ask a question, Mr. Fox?
No, I just want to clarify for everybody what was going on there, right? So, whatever you think of London's epistemology, right? He was clearly saying, look, he doesn't think that you can have knowledge, right, of the external world, because presumably it's always going to be possible to doubt anything you believe about the external world, right? But that doesn't entail that position. Let's just park it there. That doesn't entail believing that it's impossible that certain things about this external world are true, right? It's just saying he doesn't believe he can know them, right? Because he has a particular view of justification. Now we might question that view of justification, right, and say the condition there seems to be quite strong, but nonetheless, he isn't making a knowledge claim that it's impossible that some God could exist and he could imbue us with knowledge, right? He's just saying that it seems that even if God did exist and he was actually imbuing me with knowledge, how can I actually know for certain, right? And certainty isn't just there related to psychological state, it's related to doubt, the existence of the possibility of that being false. How can I know in such a way that I can't possibly doubt, right? So let's say God reveals things through the Bible. It seems always possible that I could doubt that the Bible is actually from God, right? It seems possible, for instance, that human beings wrote the Bible, and that's where revelation comes from.
Imagine being a middle-aged man and shouting at teenagers on Discord.